You're listening to Swinger University with Ed and Phoebe. Bringing you sexy lessons for sexy fun. Here are your hosts, Ed and Phoebe.
Hi, this is Ed.
And this is Phoebe.
Today we are talking about how to get a second date. We talk about how to reach out to that other couple without sounding desperate or creepy, yet confident. And by the way, congratulations on your first date, because if you're looking for a second date, you had a first, which is great. And apparently you did lure them into your sex den.
So you've had your first date, and it was, let's just say it was fabulous. It was good.
You had a good time.
You had a good time because you want a second date. So you and your partner will do this post-game wrap-up. Discuss with your partner how the evening went in your perspective. Ask your partner if they're up for a second opportunity. What kind of signals and communication did you receive from the other couple to give you an indication of a second date? And then figure out if you're all in. Sometimes you just know, and you're able to make a quick decision on the spot if asked.
It just went so well that you both look at each other and you go, oh yeah, want more of that. We've had a couple of those.
Right. And we've had those where we're in the car on the way home. We just came from someone's house and we're chatting. And my perspective is a little different from yours or vice versa. And maybe you're all in, but I'm maybe a little on the fence.
Right.
And you're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know. Things change overnight, right? Things change as you discuss things and process things. So the next day you may be all in or maybe not.
It's the equivalent of sleeping on it, right?
Exactly.
You process it, you think about it, and then you remember something and you're like, there was that thing.
Right. And you start to weigh things as we've talked about in other episodes. The hormones have died down, the adrenaline's starting to wear off, and then you start to think about, hey, yeah, are they really a good match? Is it worth it to have another date?
And this is the important conversation to have, to go, if you're all in and you want to have a second date, you got to talk about it with your partner.
Right.
So talk about it.
Exactly.
Explain why you want to have a second date.
Mm-hmm.
Get into the details.
Mm-hmm.
Get dirty details.
So the timing also depends on the venue. The timing of getting that second date, of connecting with that couple again, right? Say you're at their house. I say, for me, within 45 minutes and definitely less than 24 hours, you need to make contact. You're texting them. And usually we're always doing that either in the car on the way home or as soon as we hit the door. Hey, we got home safe. Thank you for a fabulous evening, blah, blah, blah. And we'll give you some examples later on.
Right. And this is a good opportunity to just keep the connection, to just reach out to them. If anything, it's just being polite. Hey,
sure.
It was late at night. We were driving home. They may have been worried about whether we got home
absolutely
safe.
Yeah.
And so if you reach out, it's common courtesy to kind of
absolutely
thank someone for an evening.
Absolutely.
But the second part is you give them an opportunity to say something back, and you can start to get more information from them.
Right. Hotel event. You can just tell them right then and there. They may be up for another one-on-one or are planning a room party the next night and think that you might be a good fit for group fun.
Group fun. Oh, I miss group fun. This hotel event really is for those 1-2 night things, or for those couples who maybe come in from out of town and they're staying an extra night because they don't want to travel again.
Right.
New Year's Eve is a great example.
And Halloween.
At least where we are, the events are usually 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
But even New Year's, a lot of times people party it up, and they may not want to drive home the next day.
It's a little staycation.
Yeah, they get a little room
Sexcation.
service, get some breakfast in bed, a little sweet snack in the morning, and then they're up for more.
Exactly. We'll have an example also on what to say if you're at a hotel event.
Right.
Now, if you're on a cruise, again, tell them right then and there, because even worse than a hotel, it's so big and so many people, and you get lost depending on the ship.
Yeah.
They keep getting bigger and bigger, the Bliss cruises. So
Yeah.
it's even more important to make sure that you try and make a connection, because you can't text anybody. No one has their phone. Their phones are in their room. There's no service.
Yep.
So it's all very spontaneous and in the moment.
And there's so many people on the ship that they may remember you. They may like you. They may have had a good time. But there's 3,000 other good times walking around on the deck. Right. So you're not the only good time in town.
Right. And even if they do want to get back with you, they may not be able to find you. So what are they going to do? They're going to take the next good time staring them in the face.
Right. Opportunity.
Right. So this is why you have to have your Ho card. We talked about that in one of our first few episodes.
Absolutely.
Your Ho card.
Your Ho card's got your room number on it, and they can find you there. They can write on your board. They can tell you where they're going to be.
Your Cassidy profile name, your SLS,
all that.
your kick, all that. I was going to name all the other lifestyle
applications, websites. Yeah, SLS, Cassidy.
But those are the two that are in our area, so those are the ones that are on the forefront of my brain.
Lots of them.
There are a lot. Very important. Have your Ho card. And make sure you explain what's on the card. We even have a QR code on the back, so that makes it even easier for people to get our information in their phone.
Super easy. They just take a picture. The phone slurps all the information in. They've got a contact.
Absolutely.
We're right there.
Absolutely. A lot of people will tend to stay a day after or a day before the cruise. So if you can get connected the day before, there's a lot of chat groups that start up before a cruise, and you can connect with people before. They have a meet and greet typically at the hotel before. So getting a room before the cruise is great. And then people, like I said, will stay that night after the cruise as well. Another good opportunity to meet up, go to Little Havana or something like that if you're in Miami, in Florida, and meet up and have a good time and continue the good times, the sexy times.
Yeah, and there are lots of fun things to do in the cruise ship dock towns. Whether it's in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, there's always something to do at night. Mm-hmm. So yeah, make connections. Yep. I'm distracted. I've got this brilliant QR code idea, which is our profile and all the contact information goes in. I've got to figure out a way to get a photo in with that.
You can get a photo in with the QR
no,
code.
I don't know. I'm gonna.
You probably can.
I'm having a geek brainstorm right now. There's got to be a way to do it. I'm going to figure it out.
So that the photo pops into the contact, so that when
it's all right there. Everything.
Our name shows up, boom, there's our faces.
Bam. Oh, faces? Yeah, faces. Open up our contact. There it is. Right in your face. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so there is a formula. If you're going to text someone, and even if you're in real life, you want to thank them, obviously.
Miss Manners.
You want to compliment them, obviously. And acknowledge and appreciate some shared commonality that you have. State your interest because it shows confidence. And this interest will be, obviously, the future date because you're trying to get a second date.
This goes into that whole closing the deal
Right.
mentality.
Right.
Which is you express your interest and then you go, yeah, and we want a second date. We'd love to get together with you guys again.
Right. And confidence is very attractive. You may feel like it feels very forward and imposing, but it's not. Confidence is attractive. And honestly, it lets people know where you stand and they can either go yay or nay.
Right.
And you know what? Then you're not wasting any time. There's no ambivalence. There's no wishy-washy. You're like, oh, they're not in for it again. Great, move on. Because people are only in this lifestyle for 18 months. And on a cruise, you probably will never play with the same couple twice.
At best, you might see them one other time.
Right.
At another cruise, if you happen to be.
Yeah, the likelihood there is actually a good likelihood of that on another cruise.
Yeah.
And people stay in touch for that reason.
Although we were almost at the 18-month mark if we'd gone back in November from the first cruise. And that's because there's a spring cruise and a fall cruise. And we went spring the first time, a year passed, and then it was going to be fall, which was another 6 months, which puts us right at that 18-month mark.
For a cruise.
For the cruise.
Right. But not for everything else.
Not for everything else. But for a lot of people, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, the stars kind of align to go to some of these things.
Or it's their 1 year event because there's nothing in their community. There's nothing in their state. Or
they're very private and they don't want to do public things.
Yeah. Or they can't because of their job and all that. Yeah. They don't play in their town.
Yeah. It happens.
That's a lot. There's a lot of people like that. So the last thing in your formula is follow-up. So first we had thank, compliment, appreciate, and acknowledge. State your interest, and then follow up. And it's that follow-up that'll get you that second date.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because you're kind of wrapping up that evening, and then when you follow up with them, you're keeping that connection alive. You're giving them another opportunity. You're setting that next date up. Exactly.
So here are some of the examples that we were hinting at the beginning. So for example, in a text, you could say, "Hi, Ken and Barbie. We really enjoyed the evening and would love to get together again. We will reach out in the future. If you have a date in mind, feel free to contact us and let's coordinate. Wink, wink."
Here's another example. "Hi, Ken and Barbie. We arrived home safe. We hope you arrived home safe, depending on who left whose house.
Exactly.
Thank you for a great evening. You were both so fun and easy to relax with. We look forward to another play date and will reach out to you in the future with plenty of notice, especially if they have childcare."
Exactly. And you'll know that, obviously, because
they'll probably talk about their kids.
They'll tell you. Yeah. And they'll talk about their kids. So if you're in real life and you're at a hotel takeover, you're coming out of their room, you're hugging and you're kissing. Thank you, Buzz, so much for such a sexy and fun time. We are here for the next several days and would love to meet up again. Here's our Ho card.
And on the Ho card, remember, you got to write your room number.
Yes.
So that they can call you through the phones or they can just swing by. And you can even hint to them, "Hey, We'll be there all day, relaxing in the room, maybe watching a movie.
Swing by.
Swing by if you want.
Swing by.
Knock on the door. We'll be happy to have a nooner with you.
We've had people call us over for morning breakfast.
Yeah, there were some
Several times.
hot buttered croissants.
One time there was actually breakfast.
Yeah, that did happen.
Cruise.
So, yeah,
If you're on
let's
a
talk about a
cruise.
cruise example. Thank you both for a great time. We would love to meet up with you another time. Here's our Ho card with our room number on it. And you can find us at every meet and greet and in the playroom. And be specific about which playroom
And which meet and greet.
Which meet and greet.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind and this is, we're distracting you a little bit with this, but it's important details. Playrooms on cruise ships are huge, so they'll have to look for you. But you can still
But they
specify
usually
that.
have, last one had 4 playrooms.
Yeah. So be specific which playroom. And even then, you may have a hard time finding them again. But
Well, they can look.
yeah.
They control the area. And they'll have separate meet and greet areas on the ship too. The Martini Lounge was one.
Correct. And there's specific groups of meet and greets for, certain age groups, certain sexual preferences,
Yes.
certain
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So you can meet up there too, and it's great. And we did do that, and it worked out really well. Another thing we would do too is tell them to look for us in the buffet dining.
Because everybody's got to eat.
Yep.
So tell them to meet you in the buffet and we'll eat each other. I mean, we'll have dinner together.
And we've specifically said, stop by, sit down with us. Don't feel like you're interrupting. If we're sitting there by ourselves, come in, sit down.
If there's a group of us, come sit down.
Exactly.
Because the more the merrier.
And we have done that to people too. We've seen them, we've played with them, or we're courting them, and we're like, hey, and we go over and we walk and we chat. And I mean, yeah, they may be with a group, but it doesn't matter. People, you feel like you're interrupting, but you're not. Everyone's friendly. Everyone wants to know everybody.
Everybody wants to have a good time. And if you're a good time, they want to meet you. It's that simple.
They're not there for that exclusive little small 6-person interaction on the ship for an entire week. No.
They're on a cruise ship with 3,000 swingers.
Yes.
They're looking for as much fun as they can get.
Yes. So
we were sitting in the buffet one night, and the couple that we were sitting with, we were all at the table admiring this one couple that walked by. And she was bold and very forward and said, "Mommy, come here." Called her over to the table. We all met, introduced ourselves. We ended up having sex with them the next night in the playroom.
That's right.
True story. So definitely reach out and say hi.
So your friends could have other attractive friends that may be interested in you. So they're like, it's good. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. All these responses are when you're, sure that you really want to play again. And you may be really sure that you want to play again. But again, as we said in the beginning, you might sleep on it and you sent a response, you said something in person, and the next morning you're like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I feel a little different this morning after I woke up. So, just be prepared to back out gracefully if something's changed for you and your partner. But you don't always know in the moment. I mean,
No.
Even if you're like 75%, you're like, yeah, I'd play with them again. Why? Because it was fun. The adrenaline's going, all the blah, blah, blah.
Woohoo.
All of that, the hormones. But then the next day you're like, and that's okay. That's okay.
Absolutely.
But you never really know. Don't make a true hard and fast decision Unless it was just really awful, and you know,
Right.
obviously, you're gonna know.
And you're not locked into anything. I mean, remember, this is consent, right? So you can
Yeah.
change your mind at any point. So
Exactly. If anything, do it anyway, so you have practice.
following up and setting up the second date.
Well, not if you know
Don't
that you
want to.
really don't want
No,
to, because
yeah.
then that would just be, yeah.
That's just
Because then it
mean.
wouldn't come from a genuine place. So, okay, never mind. It's not like an interview.
But it does give you the opportunity to craft your gentle letdown, which is
Yes.
another aspect to this, which is you decide not to do it. You definitely have to let them down. You still thank them. You still
Sure. Yeah.
go through most of it. You just go, hey, maybe we'll see you at the next party. And it's a very soft letdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Follow up. You've gone through that evening. You've said your goodbyes. You've let them know your interest. You're going to follow up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just like any other transaction. You're going to follow up, reach out to them in a few weeks,
If you had
see how they're doing,
yeah.
state your desire to get together. So if you are interested, let them know again. Go, hey, we had a really good time. We still want to get together. What does like next weekend look like? Or the weekend after that?
Or, hey, Bliss Cruise 2020, spring 2020 was so great because
Right.
it didn't happen. Just kidding. Are you going to be on the next one? Are you going to be on the November one?
And
Right.
you can set things up for the next event.
Exactly.
Now, cruises are tricky because there's a year that goes by. People change over a year.
Right. But I know that some people specifically
They do.
plan their cruises to be there at the same time. I know that happens.
That's got to
Story
be
after
like
story
a
after
level
story.
10 hit it off versus the 6. It was good.
Yeah.
And if we ran across them again, we'd
But
try
it
it again.
happens. It
I know.
happens.
It does.
I know.
It does. So reach out in real life, cruise, hotel, no matter how it happened, and basically say, hey, wasn't the event great? I had a great time. We had a great time. How have you guys been? So you kind of open it, segue it. You remind them of who you were
Yeah.
because,
Life happens. Yeah.
life happens
Life
and
gets in the way.
sometimes you don't remember. It's okay. You restate your desire. There's another hotel takeover coming up. Are you going? Will you both be there? For example,
We'll be there.
we used to have monthly parties, hotel
Yeah.
takeovers,
Yeah.
and I would reach out to people who we were interested in and say, hey, we're going to be at the blah, blah, blah party. Are you guys going?
Right.
And it's one of those things where you just kind of open the door for that next opportunity.
Exactly.
Always be respectful. So leave it open-ended, be polite, don't be rude, don't send them dick pics, unless, of course, they ask for them.
It's so funny we have to say that, especially in this day and age and what happened with all this nonsense in the 2020 election. Be respectful.
Be respectful. Be nice.
Be respectful.
Nice. You catch way more flies with sugar than you do with vinegar.
Yes.
But I don't know why you'd set something up. Maybe it's just don't be,
A dick.
or don't be crass. Maybe it's more like be, anyway. You
I'm
get
not
it.
sure where you're going, but I was thinking dick, so I just had to say dick.
And the most important thing with this is to propose a date, the next hotel takeover,
Yes.
A dinner and drinks kind of a thing, movie at our place,
Yeah.
Netflix and chill. Who knows?
Yeah, and we've done that too, where maybe a significant amount of time has gone by, 6 months, right? Because it took that long because of job, family illness, childcare,
It happens.
whatever. And the other couple kind of needs to reestablish that connection. They don't want to play on that night, but they're like, hey, let's go to dinner. Let's have some drinks. And then we'll go from there.
You kind of prime the pump.
Yeah.
You know, you get that spark going again.
Yeah.
Have a little sexy conversation. Talk about what they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Lean heavy on the sexy. Right?
Exactly.
Downplay the work and the kids and the
right,
whatever,
right,
your health issues,
right, because this is a vacation away from the normal.
This is, hey, let me throw sexy thoughts at you, and Bam. Some of them are gonna stick. You know? Hey, we've got a small gathering in our room before the next party, or here's our phone number. Call us. We'll get together.
Mm-hmm.
Or text us when you check in, and then we can coordinate.
We'll coordinate, yeah.
Those are all really good things to kind of start the whole thing. Oh,
yeah.
Or, hey, we've checked in. We're going to go get some dinner. Do you want to join us?
Yeah.
Or
all of that.
We're going to hit the
really
bar.
Well.
Or
I know.
There's so many different ways to segue. Reel them in.
Yeah. It's a fishing exercise.
A little bit, yeah. You got to throw the lure out there. You got to bring in.
So if none of you are in sales has this concept of filling the funnel, right? You just fill the funnel, fill the funnel, fill the funnel. And eventually things circle around, start to trickle down. And eventually you get content, but you're always fishing for the one, fishing. And eventually it's a numbers game, right?
Right.
Or if you're into, Vegas, gambling, or
eventually the
at
odds.
Your local, Indian casino, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Eventually you win. In a casino, they usually win, but,
Yeah, don't gamble. We're not big gamblers.
No.
But definitely take a risk with asking that couple out on their second date.
Yes. Again, be respectful, complimentary, direct, and confident. And you will find that you have some amazing results.
Because if you had a good time and they had a good time, they may want to repeat that. And it's easy to ask for it. You just got to have some confidence to do it.
Exactly. And if you don't think you have the confidence, remember, fake it till you make it. Before you turn off our podcast to take care of all the vanilla things pulling you away, please reach out and give us a review. I am the first to admit that it's much easier to give a 5-star rating, which we appreciate, but if you could take 43 seconds to type a review, we would love it. If you want to share a personal story, ask us questions, or share your comments, you can contact us at swingeruniversity@gmail.com. Check us out at swingeruniversity.com, where you can find links to our Twitter and Instagram feeds. Thank you so much for listening to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment podcast.